Winning on the inside. That's my theme for this week and last week. And if you found this helpful, why don't you share it with some other people? The Lord spoke to me very early in my ministry, and he warned me saying this: a person must come into a relationship with God higher than their office, or the very office would destroy them. That's what happened to King Saul. He came into a ministry higher than his character, and it destroyed him in the end. So how are we going to win the inner game? Well, number one, we've got to let God develop our character. Be willing for that to happen. Not everybody is, by the way. They come against obstacles, trials, and difficulties. Instead of developing character, they go in reverse and get bad character. And it's not as easy as it sounds. We need to develop a deep hunger in our hearts to become more like Jesus. A deep hunger, and develop the fruit of the Spirit. God can transform any person who is willing to let him. But the choice is ours. Galatians 5:22-23. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. Against such there is no law. We've got to be willing to let God develop our character and help us win the inner game. Secondly, character is developed through hardships. That's bad news. We see this in people like Moses, Joshua, David, Joseph, Paul, Jeremiah. You can go through the whole list of them. Through crises, they developed the character of Christ in their lives, and we're winning the inner game. See, we can't dictate the outer events in life, but we can determine the results of the inner game. James 1:2-4. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials. I haven't found that person yet, by the way, but he must be out there somewhere. Knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. Let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. Wow. So trials, responded to right, get to the place where you are made perfect and complete, lacking nothing. So this verse finally makes sense. We can rejoice in trials because they develop the inner person, which is eternal, and it is the thing that really, really matters ultimately in life, that we are winning on the inside, developing our character. The qualities that run deepest in our lives are those that are driven in the hardest. God drives in patience and self-control and all of those fantastic qualities. I talked not long ago to a person who suffered a lot lately, cried buckets of tears. But then they said this. They said, this event that caused me so much pain has changed me on the inside. I now have a far greater compassion for those who are grieving. For that person, compassion was driven in hard, but it then marked their character from that time forward. A high price was paid, but it developed the inner game in a tremendous way. Trials, as you know, can leave us bitter, or they can develop humility and character in our lives. But we alone determine the result. It is entirely our choice. Some say, don't waste a good trial. I think there's a lot of truth in it, because you're going to go through it anyway. So why not make sure you come out with the treasures of darkness? Don't just go through it and you suffer and pain and hurt and all the rest of it, and then come out worse, bitter and twisted. No. Make it worthwhile. Come out winning on the inside. 2 Corinthians 4:10, Paul says, always carrying about in the body the dying of the Lord Jesus, that the life of Jesus may also be made manifest in our body. Paul, despite all his struggles and battles, was winning the inner game.